Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can we please stand as the procession leads in? Thank you. You may be seated. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, learners, Mrs. Smith, and Mr. Hayward. Welcome to the final Grade 10 prize giving of 2021. Being here is a very special and prestigious gathering for our learners and parents, despite what we as a community and as a school have endured and what we are still enduring. And to have come this far, I want to commend all stakeholders that have played a role in the learner's path to achievement and that has put them here tonight. And starting the evening off by applauding the Grade 10 learners that will be walking across the stage tonight, adding to their memorable moment, seems rather fitting. So welcome, Grade 10s. You can applaud. Before I get into the agenda of the ceremony, I would like to extend a big thank you to all those that have been involved in making this evening possible. I don't think everyone quite understands that what goes on behind the scenes for this evening, so in no particular order, I would just like to thank the following. Mrs. Niemand, Ms. van Altena, and Mrs. van der Merwe for arranging the program, tickets, and doing the parent communications. Mrs. Nalmapius for the prize winners' summaries and trophies. Mrs. Burke and Kanise Tembani for the assistance with certificates and trophy handovers. Mrs. Yvonne Smith for certificate creation and validation. Miss August, who will be our photographer tonight, and should you need any photos, come here afterwards, and for controlling the sound room. Mr. Robinson, Mr. Nalmapius, Quinton, and Lunati for the sound room, streaming, and tech support. Miss Hoch for the arrangements of the staff robes and hoods. And then Mrs. Kutsia, I know she's here somewhere playing the piano, and for arranging the musical piece. I know I might be touching on Mr. Hayward's territory here now, but I just want to also extend a big thank you to our staff. Ladies and gents, our staff put a tremendous amount of efforts in, and with our dedication and commitment, this is why we are here tonight. And for those learners that aren't here tonight, we will just keep putting the effort in for them, so thank you to the staff. And then lastly, for me, as a grade head, to my class teachers that are sitting on stage and Mrs. Pizzardi. I know I'm not the easiest of people to work with, and I know that my OCDs and all those things might be very taxing, but thank you for supporting me throughout this year and just going ahead with all that I need on such short notice. So thank you. And on that note, I would like to ask Mrs. Pizzardi to come up to do the scripture reading and prayer.
Good evening, Mr. Hayward, staff, parents, and our honored guests, the Grade 10 prize winners of 2021. Our Bible reading this evening comes from Proverbs 4, verses 6 and 7. Do not forsake wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will watch over you. Wisdom is supreme, therefore get wisdom. Though it cost all you have, get understanding. Please bow your head in prayer with me. Gracious God, we humbly give you thanks and praise for our gathering this evening. We thank you for the support and love of parents and families. We praise you for the past year of learning at Westering High School, for the wisdom we've acquired and the growth we've experienced through teachers, coaches, staff, and one another. Send your blessing on us as we honor students whose curiosity, diligence, and scholarship have brought them honor and success. We are grateful that they and their families entrusted Westering High School to engage them intellectually. Thank you for their confidence to discover and explore new possibilities and knowledge to discern what is right and good and just. Enable them to draw upon the wisdom and experience of yesterday as they respond to the questions and concerns of tomorrow. Support our honored students as they continue to make a difference in the world. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Mrs. Pizzardi. I would like for you to turn your attention to Carl Baichis, who will now perform a piano solo, Galop Final by Alfredo Casello. The piano piece that Carl plays tonight has a theme, large waves. While listening, imagine how the composer tells the story through his music. First the calm sea, and then the roll of small waves, then the increase of the volume, and the build-up to the 4 big waves, finishing with the calm sea again. Thank you, Carl. What a wonderful piece, and such talent by Carl. Well done. I would like to call on Mr. Hayward to do his principal's address, and as he moves over to do his address, I want to thank you, sir, for steering the Westering High School ship in the right direction, despite the rough storm we faced. And I speak on behalf of the learners and the staff. We take our hat off to you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Hayward.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and especially to our prize winners. It is indeed very nice for me to be out here this evening, to have you here face to face, and I know that the accolades that you will receive here this evening, prize winners, does have meaning for you. And I'm very grateful that we are able to give you some awards this year. I also know that it's been a long while since we've had this kind of opportunity to present our learners to you. And so I want to thank you for coming out here this evening and joining us here. And I hope that as the pandemic is taken control of by vaccinations and good lifestyle choices, I hope that we will be able to see more of each other in 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been very fortunate at Westering High School, and your children have been very fortunate. We read in the newspapers and we hear on the news that the minister has announced that the syllabi or the content of subjects has been trimmed, but for us at Westering that has not been necessary. And so we actually sit here this evening where your child has been able to do a full academic year and get taught in all his and her subjects. And I want to thank staff for that, because it is very difficult, ladies and gentlemen, to teach under these circumstances. It's very difficult to learn under these circumstances. And so I want to thank the learners for doing their best so that you are able to sit here. And I want you to know that when you write your matric one day, that you can blame COVID for many things, but you cannot blame COVID for a poor matric result one day, because you have had the opportunity to be able to perform well. Ladies and gentlemen, we've also had some extramurals this year, and you will see that there are some awards for extramurals. But it was very sad for me when we had the grade 8s here on Monday, and we played the school song, and they couldn't sing it, because we haven't been allowed to sing. And so there are many things that you have been robbed of in the past 19 months. But I know that you are going to make up for that when you are able to. I also want to ask the parents here this evening that it is something that has happened during COVID, and that is that your child has had too much screen time. I think we as adults have had too much screen time, and we don't do the extramurals anymore. We don't do the sport, and we don't do the choirs. Now, these are hopefully going to open up. I know it's very nice to see the cricket boys and cricket girls are out there already this term, and it's very nice to see them all out there and playing again. And what COVID has done with many of our children, and I see that in the children at school, is that it has created panic. It has created fear, and you see that in the panic attacks and the anxiety attacks that the children get at school. And the extramural activities, the sport, the being out on the field, being out on a walk, is what is going to lift that mental wellness, and is going to take away some of that anxiety and fear. And so I want to encourage you to do that as soon as possible and to become more active. I also want to speak to the grade 10s, because you are going to be in grade 11 next year. And there are so many things that the grade 8s and 9s don't know. And you have had the privilege of having a grade 8 year at school. So you've been exposed to high school life. And it's like going to have to be trying to get a fire going again when we come back next year. And you are going to have to help me and my colleagues to get that fire burning again at Westering High School, and to get that light shining again, because you have had some experience of the adventure here at Westering High School. I mentioned last night, and I'm going to use that again, that you all know the white arum lily You see some of them growing outside, and they are really beautiful flowers. And when that arum lily gets to the end of its flowering cycle, it goes into the seed stage. And it has quite a big yellow seed where the flower was. And it's quite miraculous, and I read this about how to reopen up the school again. That seed and that stem becomes heavy, and the stem becomes weak, and the seed bows down onto the soil, and new plants grow from those seeds. So I want you to be like the arum lily next year. And I want you to encourage the juniors to become part of the high school adventure and to go and take part in activities and sports, because you know what it is like. And we all know how important it is to do those things. So I really want to encourage you, grade 10s, to be the lilies of the school next year and to make sure that we have seedlings so that we can get back to where we were prior to the pandemic. And no, we will never return to the old normal, but we certainly can have an adventure again and share in some of the joys of watching and playing together, which is so important for us. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to thank the governing body, and it's very nice to see our chair lady, Mrs. Pecanini, sitting here this evening. The governing body has had a difficult 2 years because of finances, and there are so many of our parents who have had very, very difficult times financially. But the school has managed to steer the ship through the pandemic, and I want to thank the governing body for some of the projects which have been launched and which you will see currently or in the very near future. I want to thank them for approving a multi-purpose sports facility. Where you came in this evening at the tennis courts, those tennis courts we are going to resurface with an AstroTurf, which will be used as a multi-purpose facility where you will be able to play many sports on that turf, such as tennis, mini soccer, volleyball. There are quite a number that you can play on that turf, and we will use it primarily for tennis and soccer. And I've promised and worked very hard to get soccer to the school, but space is a very, very important factor here that we all have to take into account. And we will be able to play 7-a-side soccer on that turf, and then there will also be 3 5-a-side soccer fields and 3 tennis courts. So I'm looking forward to that. We saw the gentleman yesterday, and he is going to come back to us within the next week, and I'm hoping that when you come back in the new year, that facility will be available to all of you. And that comes at a cost of about 1.5 million, ladies and gentlemen. Then, ladies and gentlemen, some of you will share this who live in the western suburbs, that water is a big problem, and even in the city is a big problem. And many of you have known what it is like. I know some of my colleagues come to school and complain that it's been 3 and I think even up to 5 days that they've had no water. As of yesterday, no, I think the day before yesterday, there is now water from the borehole, which will be pumped directly into the main line of the school. And so we will be able to provide water to the school when there is no water. And we could even, if we choose, let it run all the time, if all goes well. Ladies and gentlemen, that water is of such a good quality that they say that it is of a better quality than the municipal water. It will be slightly filtered to make sure that it is a little softer, but it will be very drinkable and certainly will ensure that we are hygienic at school when we have a water crisis. And that comes at about, I think that was around 200,000 rand that we had to spend on doing that, but it is certainly something very worthwhile. Then, ladies and gentlemen, we are also going to start in the next week with increasing the toilets down at the sports center, at the KR Bos Sports Center, where they have really had problems, especially for the girls, where there has been a dire need for more toilets. And we have found a builder that's been able to plan and construct and make sure that there are more toilets available, especially in the girls' bathroom. They're going to break out things there and improve the number of seats there for our learners during sport and during break time. So I'm very grateful for that, and that has come at a cost of about 150,000 rand. Ladies and gentlemen, then I'm very proud. I sometimes, when I know that there's something on, I just drive past here because it looks so nice. It makes me think of Sun City or something. But our outside lights, I became very aware when I had to do duty during winter last year to do screening for staff, that our school is not very safe as far as lights are concerned. And so I have pleaded with the governing body, and they have approved, and we have now got lights outside. You can even read now if you sit on the stoop there waiting for somebody. And I'm very grateful for that, and that we did it about 180,000 rand. And it really makes a big difference to our safety, and it's nice to be able to go home in the evening and see your way to where you have to be. And then, ladies and gentlemen, you will also notice on the Heath field, the cricket field, as you come in at the main gate, that there are two big containers out there at either end of the field. We've painted them white. It's become necessary because the cricket, EP cricket, no longer wants us to host first team games for the boys if we don't have side screens. Now, side screens help the cricket game, but they're also very expensive. And we saw the opportunity to put up side screens in the form of a container, but that also gives us very much needed storage for our sports equipment and our estates equipment that we need to store. And so you will see that there are two containers out there, which has also come at a cost of about 110,000 rand. Then, ladies and gentlemen, I've also probably another reason why I drive around the back of the school. You will know that, well, perhaps you won't know that, but I know that because I've been here for so long, that old shooting range where the building rubble used to lie used to be such an eyesore for me, and I often thought that our school looks so well and is so well presented and is so neat, and our estate is something to be proud of. But that dump was always a dump in my eyes. And it is now no longer a dump. We have filled it up, and we have been able to grass it, and that has come at a huge expense, ladies and gentlemen. You will not believe how expensive civil work is, and that has come at about an expense of 300,000 rand. But that is, ladies and gentlemen, now an extended piece of the rugby field where we can do other activities once that grass has knitted very nicely. And I have had so many phone calls from neighbors to say thank you very much. They're so grateful that they no longer have to look into that dump. Ladies and gentlemen, and then I don't know if you realize this, but the governing body approved the appointment of a social worker at the end of last year. And it couldn't have come at a better time, ladies and gentlemen. We have now got a full-time social worker at the school. She's able to teach your child many life skills when it comes to some of their psychological issues in their life. And she has helped a number of children. She's so busy that I'm scared that I'm going to have to ask this governing body to appoint a second social worker. But it's made such a difference at such a very, very dreadful time in our life. A lot of our children have gone through very difficult times. And I am so grateful that she's here with us. And that has also come at a huge expense to the school. But it has made such a difference to the well-being of our children. Ladies and gentlemen, matriculate grade 10s, I look forward to seeing you come up for prizes. I also want to leave you with one last thought. You will notice that my hair has got a lot grayer over the last few years. and I'm now thinking about retiring. I have challenged the grade 9s last night, and I'm going to challenge you tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, getting a 100% pass rate has become increasingly difficult, even for the strongest of strong academic schools, because our grade 12 exam has become normalized. We don't have movement of marks as we used to have in the past. And so I'm going to challenge this grade 10 group. You can help me retire a very happy man if you work towards a 100% pass rate in your matric year. I will still be here to experience that, and I really want you to work towards that, because it will benefit you and it will benefit the school. Because we all want to be at a good school, and you can do it, and you and Mrs. Bizzardi and Mr. Radman and your registered teachers, I know, will make a plan. And so I challenge you to a 100% pass rate at the end of your matric year. Thank you very much for your presence, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Hayward. Now for the fun and the proud part of the evening, the prize winners. Parents, please do not be shy to snap a photo or a video as your child walks across the stage tonight. So before we get started, I'd just like to ask Mrs. E. Smith to join me on stage. Mrs. E. Smith will be handing out the awards tonight. Mrs. E. Smith, as the Deputy Principal, also acts as my mentor for grade 10 and has played a big role in my development as a grade head and a leader. So I just want to also acknowledge her tonight and just thank you for everything that she's done this year for me. Thank you, Mrs. Smith. Can I ask the first group to stand and line up on my right-hand side? Ladies and gents, I'm going to call these kids out in groups of 4, so if we can just applaud at the end of each group, I would much appreciate that. A certificate of diligence is awarded to Kiara Adams. Taskeen Ajam. Lene Benz. Akama Blandile. Jaylee Boyson. Joshua Cecil. Sihle Kengimbo. Kodel Chikomo. Kim Daniels. And Franco de Jager in his absence. If I can ask the second group to please stand up and line up on my right-hand side. Group 2 will also be awarded the Certificate of Diligence. Matthew Ernest. Nishan Phyllis. Tamsin George, Atankosi Giyosi, Chelsea Hutton, Abdul Isaacs, Jessica Lee Jordan, Chloe Cummings, Lisa Kanya Machini, and Ryan Minto. While we wait for Group 2 to return, Group 3, if you can stand and line up on the right-hand side for me. Group 3 will also be rewarded the Certificate of Diligence, starting off with Melissa Mukombe, Okuhle Mwalase, Tashik Nadu, Alia Norki, Asive Hinqebe, Rohita Patha, Celine Peterson, Sarshan Pillay, Kiara Premlal, and Ntando Kangule. I'll ask the next group to please stand and line up on the right-hand side for me. And this will be our last group for diligence. Starting off, Inati Qelengile, Leila Schultz, Lalita Siwa, Chloe Stewart, Twanay Stein. Tina Teyi. In his absence, Gregory Thorne. Then we'll go to Tina Tongo. DeAndre van der Berg. Lukolo Vongo. And last but not least, Mpolokeng Zililo. My next group can get ready so long and line up on the right-hand side. The following group of learners that I will be reading out to you, ladies and gentlemen, are prize winners. So this is either in a subject or anything specific to do with the grade. So if I can start off the evening with the prize for first in geography, Siataba, my apologies, Meyiwa. The prize for first in isiXhosa, first additional language, Lerato Trina. The prize for first in English home language, Kanyisa Tembani. The prize for first in music, Kyle Baichis. A certificate of diligence and the prize for first in accounting, Zinat Ali. A certificate of diligence and the prize for first in tourism, Luke Watkins. A certificate of diligence and the prize for first in computer applications technology, Ntsika Mkuduka. A certificate of diligence and the prize for first in visual arts, Caitlin Pereira. A certificate of diligence and the prize for first in consumer studies, Gordon Barnes. A certificate of diligence and the prize for first in history, Liema Maneli. A certificate of general academic excellence is awarded to Aaron Hambridge. I'll ask you to clap now. Thank you. The students on my left, you can just wait over there until I'm done with these four. These four are very special kids over here. These represent your top four in the grade 10 for 2021. So without further ado, a certificate of general academic excellence and the prize for fourth in grade 10, Onikayo Sukutu. You can clap. A certificate of general academic excellence, the prize for first in mathematical literacy, first in business studies, and the prize for third in grade 10, Haley Rowe. A certificate of general academic excellence, the prize for first in information technology, first in mathematics, first in life orientation, and the prize for second in grade 10, Gajen Chetty. A certificate of general academic excellence, the prize for first in Afrikaans, first additional language, physical sciences, life sciences, and the prize for first in grade 10, Taylor Lemmer. Can I ask that the following learners please stand and move to the right while we wait for these to move to the sides, back to the seat. Ntando Kangule, Selindekuhle Vika, Zinat Ali, Tamsin George, Jason Ferreira, Liakanya Kondi, Rohita Patha, Lene Benz, Lalita Siwa, Akama Blandile, Asive Nkebe, and Kiara Premlo. The following individuals will receive a certificate of participation in the UCT Maths competition. Ntando Kangule. A certificate of participation in the UCT Maths competition, Selindekuhle Vika. I'll now be reading the pairs that will receive certificates of participation in the UCT Maths competition. Zinat Ali and Tamsin George. Jason Ferreira and Liakanya Kondi. Rohita Patha and Lene Benz. We'll get there, ladies and gents. Lalita Siwa and Akama Blandile. I've decided to throw these two together right now, and these two ladies over here have taken part in the Proverto National High School Olympiad and proceeds to the second round, as well as they've partook in the University of Johannesburg's FIMO National High Schools Olympiad. Both of these ladies will receive certificates of participation. Asive Nkebe, Kiara Premlo. If we can give this group a round of applause. For now, that concludes my section, so I would like to ask Mr. Pienaar to join me on stage as he'll be presenting the Sports and Culture Awards. While he gets ready to present, I'd like to take this opportunity to publicly congratulate Mr. Pienaar on his appointment as the new Deputy Principal, and know that he will implement new changes and opportunities for all here at Westering High School. Mr. Pienaar.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Rutman. And it is indeed my honor and privilege this evening to award the following awards to the recipients as the chairman of the awards committee. So I would please like to ask the following learners to line up on the right-hand side of the hall there for me, please. For cultural awards, Hailey Rowe, Zinat Ali, Bianca Freeman, Ryan Minto, Adrian Mortimer, Sashin Pillay, and Sika Piccanini, please. I did say it. Okay. Right. Under Cultural Awards, for debating, a New Colours Award to Hayley Rowe. A new Merit Award for debating to Zenat Ali. Under Chess, a New Colors Award to Bianco Freeman. We move on to Service Awards. Service to Debating, a New Merit Award to Hayley Rowe. New Merit Award to Zenat Ali. E-Media Center, New Merit Award to Ryan Minto. In her absence, for Enviro Club, a New Merit Award to Adrian Mortimer, as well as a New Merit Award for Adrian Mortimer to photography as well. Cricket Scoring, New Colors Award to Sarshan Pillay. And a New Colors Award to Ntsika Picanini. We can give them a round of applause. I'm now going to ask the following learners to please line up on the right-hand side. Zenat Ali, Gordon Barnes, Sibulele Ngotolo, and Erin Hambridge. And can I ask Bianco Freeman to join them there as well, please? These are Leadership Awards for RCL, a New Merit Award to Zenat Ali. New Merit Award to Gordon Barnes. And a New Merit Award to Sibulele Ngotolo. Sports Awards, a New Merit Award for girls hockey to Erin Hambridge. Special mention in his absence this evening, there's a special sports award for the best under 16 rugby player that is awarded to Gregory Thorne. And then we have a special cultural award. It's the Hernandez Trophy for the best senior chess player, and that's awarded to Bianco Freeman. We can give them a round of applause. That concludes the awards for this evening. I'll now hand you back to Mr. Ratman. Thank you.
I'd like to ask Mr. Hayward to come up on stage, as he also has a few special awards that he needs to hand out. So, Mr. Hayward, thank you.
Congratulations, grade 10s. That was very nice to be part of. And it's very nice to see so many of you are also poised to do big things in school. I see you out on the cricket team in first teams. I see you on the hockey field. I see you in debating. And I'm really excited to what you are going to achieve by the time you get to matric. Ladies and gentlemen, it is also, and I just want to say that Bianco Freeman gets that Hernandez trophy. He was selected, but unfortunately due to COVID, that never materialized, to represent South Africa at a junior chess championship. Somewhere in Africa, if I remember correctly, Ghana. But really, I think that's really an achievement, so well done, young man. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, and it's very nice in this grade because Bianco did very well. I see Hayley's doing very well with the debating, but there's another lady who did very well on a national level. This the Lizelle Feltham Trophy for Culture this evening. She's been very busy in the cultural sphere at school, but one of the things that stood out for us, she participated in a national competition. It has a little bit of an academic twist to it as well. She participated in the Slim Spell competition, making the top 3 of that competition. And those of you who are soapy addicts would have seen that this young lady was in an episode of Seven de Laan, or I think there were 2 of them, where she appeared in the finals of that competition. And her Afrikaans teacher, Mrs. Sharon Claassen, went with her as well to accompany her on this expedition to the studio of Seven de Laan. And they appeared on Seven de Laan. Mrs. Claassen was then also invited in true drama queen fashion to be an extra on the stage there at Seven de Laan. And I want to congratulate Taylor Lemmer for this award this evening. Congratulations, Taylor. Well done, Taylor. Ladies and gentlemen, and then it is also my privilege, and I think Mrs. Pizzardi and I are almost here for the same time, but longer than me. Okay. She takes the honors there, ladies and gentlemen. Mrs. Pizzardi is really a valued member of staff at our school, and I know that we are very blessed to have her here as an English teacher. I know, and I often hear when I talk to learners about her great skill and art in the English classroom, and I value her as one of the top English teachers in the metro. And what the children enjoy about her is her reading and her role play in plays in the classroom, and they are also very, very grateful for her knowledge and expertise. And it is a pity that Volkswagen battled this year like we did financially. I begged them for a car for Mrs. Pizzardi, but they said they couldn't help me this year. So, Mrs. Pizzardi, I have a certificate there for you with Mrs. Smith. Mrs. Pizzardi has been teaching at Westering High School, and she has been a wonderful role model, a refined young lady who is an excellent role model for our girls. And I want to thank her for the part that she has played in the school life in the past 20 years. Congratulations, mate. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I'm now going to hand you over to your grade head again, Mr. Radman. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, and once again, congratulations to all the grade 10s on winning their awards tonight. I'd like to conclude this evening by saying thank you to all those that have been involved in the grade 10s. Like Mr. Hayward said, it hasn't been an easy year, but just thank you for the parents, tutors on the outside, teachers that have made it possible for them to be here tonight to receive these awards. As your grade head, I am proud, and as a staff, we are proud. So thank you, grade 10s. If I can ask that we all stand to end this evening off with the school song. If we can just remain standing while the procession leads. Thank you, parents, for being here tonight. Travel safe and God bless. If there are any parents that would like to take photos up front, please, Ms. August is here, and we can do it on your cell phones or on the school's camera. Thank you very much.